my name is Gabrielle Deculus. I live right here in this great city of New Orleans. I am a change maker. I am a businesswoman. I care about people. And right here in New Orleans, I help businesses engage marketing tactics and strategies that work for social good. I believe that social good is not a trend. It is a new best way to do business. And if we put each other first, if we put people first, we will always have a job. Not only will we always have a job, but we have people who live a fulfilled life. And so that's a big part of who I am. You can catch me at conferences, producing concerts, writing, creating content. I mean, running campaigns, trying to get, Black families here in New Orleans to know that we have really great Black schools here that you should send your kids to. I do all the things and work with all the people who care about people. And so that's who I am, and I'm just excited to be here.
Hey guys, welcome back to Couch Conversations with Shatara. We have the beautiful Gabrielle Deculus on the couch, okay?
Hey y'all.
Let me just tell you something. I really didn't know who Gabbi was. I saw that she was at an event and I looked her up on Instagram. And as I scrolled through, I was like, wait, I like this girl. I'm really intrigued by her. The world needs to know exactly who she is and what she does. So guess what? Now you have her on the couch and you better get your pen and your paper out so you can learn.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Because I hear that question a lot, actually. People are always like, so what is it that you do? And it's different depending on what the situation is. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So who is Gabbi? Who is this beautiful, bright mind? Who are you?
I am a country girl that grew up in Baton Rouge that was taught at a very young age that people matter. And that, not only do people matter, but business matters, especially for the Black community. And so that has really been a big part of my life since I was about 15, 16 years old. I often share stories about my family and how I'm really blessed to have a really great mother. I know you're a mother.
Yes, I am.
I have a really great mom who just really cared about me showing up in the world and being able to articulate who I am. And so I do that a lot. People follow me, that I'm outspoken, and I really don't care because I know that there's so much that we don't share. And so I want to share, and I want people to know that I use social media and my business to not only tell my story, but tell our story and help entice people to serve each other.
That's crazy because I really didn't know what the aspect of it was. And I started Couch Conversations with Shatara for that purpose.
Yeah.
Every time we look on the media, we always see the bad side of us, the bad side of the city.
Right.
And I wanted to rewrite the narrative, and I wanted us to come and tell our story. So many people are going through so many different things, and people may look at you in the state that you're in now and think that, oh my gosh, she has it all together, it's all of this, but there may be a few people who want to get where you are but are dealing with things that you dealt with.
Absolutely.
And if they knew that, no, this is what I actually dealt with to get to where I am, it would make them fight a little harder to get there.
Absolutely.
So that's really good to hear you say that. And what you said that your mother was so great. Yeah. I saw that you wrote that, your mom had you staying up to do speeches and, making sure that you were like, no, do it like this. This is how it should go. This is what it, it should be. And I resonated with that. A lot of times in our community, our parents aren't that present.
No, they're not.
So parents, for your mom to be that present, it can always be like a double side. Oh my gosh, she was so strict, she was this, she didn't have to do all that. But
she was strict.
But I identify with that so much because I am just like that with my kids, and I didn't get that same thing growing up.
Right.
So I knew what I wanted for my children, and so that's what I do. So look at you now. Your mom did all of that, and you probably was like, oh, she get on my nerve. I want to go to sleep,
Why you waking me up at 7 o'clock on Saturday, Mom? But it's really a blessing to not just have a mother in your corner, but to have someone in your corner whenever you are a child. So they're investing in you and they're pushing you to be your best and they're making you uncomfortable. But that way, whenever you leave that house, you know how to do so much. You know how to show up in the world. You know that you have a voice and you matter. Can't nobody tell me my voice don't matter.
Okay.
Ramona Deculus did already told me.
Okay.
And that's just what it is. And that's how I show up in the world.
Oh my, you're giving me so much hope, Gabbi. Like, really, you don't understand. I'm telling you, when I read, I was like, why do I identify with this so much.
Yeah.
Like I can see, we're the same age, but just how you grew up and what your mom was for you and how you are today.
Yeah.
I just envisioned this is what I want my daughter to be.
Absolutely.
Like this is Nevaeh, I'm
she
looking
will
at
be
you as, this is Nevaeh,
And she will be that.
Okay, she gonna be that.
Shout out to your daughter.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I bring my daughter with me to do, like if I have a speaking engagement, if I have an event going on, whatever the case may be, because I need her to see.
She needs to see it.
She needs to see it.
And one thing I can add to that is my mom and I actually started our entrepreneurship journey at the same time.
Really?
My mom became a State Farm agent in 2008 and decided to move from Baton Rouge to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Southeastern, and I was like, well, shit, I'm moving to Houston too. You ain't leaving me.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole family is out there building her business, and I'm at Prairie View A&M University getting my my second business started.
Okay.
Because I started at Southeastern. So I'm gonna give you a little background.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you a little background.
So
I grew up in the I'm just gonna bring it back to like 16-ish years old, because your daughter's in here and we're talking about mother-daughter relationship and where things can go whenever you actually realize like your mom has your best interest out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was involved in the Knights of Peter Claver. I was a junior daughter for a long time, which is a local Black Catholic organization here in the city. But they are national, actually international.
Is that something like a
I think Jack and Jill.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Jack and Jill?
Or
Links? Or there's organizations out here that specifically cultivate families. And they put families in positions in places where you're networking and you're loving on each other and you're finding opportunities for each other. And so that's one thing that we found in the church whenever I was a teenager. I grew up in a Black gospel Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
And being a part of the Knights of Peter Claver really put me on the track of being a leader. That's where those late night trainings and conversations were with my mom. So fast forward into college, I go to college and I have a group of friends who are just really talented and we wanted to start our own business. So we started doing events because out there in Southeastern, there's very little for Black people to do. You want to send all the Black people to where the white people at, and we know that that'll always work out, right? Yeah. And so we started creating our own opportunities. So my mom decided to go to Houston. I was like, I'm breaking off from what's happening over here and still support y'all. I'm going to Houston because there's more. And so I go out there, start my business there, PR marketing, which is what I've been doing for 12 years. Everything from being a publicist to someone to being a strategist or marketing executive. It's that extreme depending on what my client needs. And so I've been able to kind of build that over the last several years, and I really I'm appreciative of my foundation, of being able to be in front of people where I can be myself, learn how to speak, learn how to articulate all these things, and simultaneously have a mom that has a business too, where I'm able to contribute to her business. By the way, my mom's moving here in 6 months and she reopened her business. So
you happy about that?
Happy about that. But here we are still, yet again, we're still both running towards entrepreneurship. We understand the importance of generational wealth. We're getting into real estate. We're doing all the things, and I don't think that we would be such a partnership if she didn't invest in me at that time. That's all I'm really trying to say. Mother-daughter legacy is a real thing. That is nothing to sleep on. At the end of the day, we pass so much down to each other, being women, and it's like, why don't we look at ourselves as building legacies? Yeah. And so that's where we are, and that's where our relationship is now. And I didn't understand it before, but now
you got it.
I get it.
That. You know what? That's major. Mother-daughter legacy. And I'm thinking this in my head, like, okay, mother-daughter legacy.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? You think about you passing on a legacy of wealth to your family, but you're passing on, is it breaking a generational curse?
Yes.
What is it? What do you mean when you say mother-daughter legacy?
It means that, hey, mom has a clear vision of who she is and what she wants, and I realized as a daughter that she has sacrificed so much for me, and that it is my duty, right? And I also have a dad who's very present. My parents are still married. But, these things that my mother intentionally did, it's not something I can allow to fall by the wayside.
Come on,
that's not something I can allow to just not go further than me. There's so much more, right? And so I just really appreciate my mom for that, and I'm getting a little emotional because she was just here yesterday. She flew in because I need to inspect the house that I want to look at, and she flew right back to Houston. It's just a different kind of relationship. That we have to be intentional about, because unfortunately you look at our history as a people and as a community, we haven't always been positioned to show so much love to each other. It's been more stress and trauma. So
Crab in a barrel. That's what we. That's our man. That's the only thing we know. Anytime you talk to a African American, is always the crab in a barrel, and we want to get rid of that stigma.
Oh, we get rid of that. That's really not even a thing that I even try to speak on much anymore. Instead, I try to ask questions that are more action driven, like, what are you doing?
Gotcha.
What are you doing though? Don't tell me what people not trying to allow you to do. What are you doing? Because we still have the capacity and the strength, and just like the, what is it called? You know, so many people before us, so many women before us have gotten us to today.
Yeah.
You got a duty.
Yeah.
You got some work to put in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
You got to put it in.
You got to put it in.
So as far, you have a PR, you have the...
I have a full service marketing firm called St. Josephine, where we do marketing for social good. And what that means is I don't work with companies that are not helping people. Now, helping people is a wide range of things, right? That's for-profit and non-profit. That could be tech, that could be beauty, that could be real estate, it could be, you know, whatever, right? But if you're not actively contributing to a better community of people, then we will pass on working with you. We want to work with people who are making real impact.
Impact in the community.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. An example of what we're doing right now, I actually represent 5 Black-led, Black-governed charter schools here in New Orleans, ranging from the East to Algiers. And honestly, it is my goal with this particular client to help people in New Orleans realize that beyond where your people went to high school or wherever where you grew up, there's so many schools in our areas that care about us. More than we realize. And so right now, for example, we are elevating their profile. We'll have a citywide campaign launching in January because the One app is open, and we need people to know that if you want to enroll your kids in one, you can enroll in these schools because these schools care.
That's amazing.
So that's an example of like a project that I work with, and you know, several more that that you're aware of.
Yeah.
But it just really varies. And it's fun. I'm project based, so I get to have a lot of fun and be like, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Y'all happy? All right, cool. You know, on to the next thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is really good. So at 12, you built your first computer?
Yeah.
With your dad?
With my dad.
And what does your dad do?
My dad is retired from ExxonMobil chemical plant. My dad was in the Army as well, and so we lived all over earlier in my life. And he was also always a gamer. He is still a gamer. He plays World of Warcraft, if people know what that is. Which is a super fun game if you got time for it. But yeah, you know, he didn't want us to, you know, my parents are from the country. We're from Eunice, Mama, Louisiana. You know, we're Creole folk. We're not New Orleans Creole folk. We are a different type of Louisiana Creole folk, which I'm very proud of. Hardworking people. And my dad just really does not believe in giving you things without you understanding what it is and how it works. And so my sister and I, Megan, we wanted a computer at like 12 and 11 years old. And he was like, yeah, y'all get a computer, but we're going to build it. So we had to build it with him and learn memory, hardboard, wires, casing, about displays and resolution and softwares and operating systems and all of that at a young age. And I really credit him for, I credit my mom for a lot, right? Me being able to stand up as, you know, as a confident Black woman and move in different spaces. But my dad is the tech intellect guy who has really, you know, charged us with being aware of your surroundings, knowing what you're doing, understand that there's a lot more than what you see on the surface, and you're still responsible for things regardless of if you see it on the surface or not. And so, so that's why another reason why I'm like in the tech world too, with business rules for women, and I work with a lot of tech companies too as a marketing director, and I really credit him because without access to that technology, you know, and having a dad who cared about me having some technical skill, I really wouldn't be where I am today. Both phenomenal parents. I'm very grateful for.
You're grateful. You know what? I hope my kids talk about me like that. You know, when they get that age,
They will understand your value so much more when they hit 30-ish. You know what I'm saying?
That's when they get it. When
in the 20s, it's still kind of like, but at 30, you're like, you know what? You be knowing.
At 31, Gabby, a bunch. You know, going through college, being able to start these businesses that you have.
Yeah.
I see you in a lot of social circles. I see you in a lot of political realms. 40 under 40, Essence, you know, Claire. I'm like, wait, hold up, what else? I mean, when is it gonna stop?
It ain't gonna stop.
You know, I love it. So tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I've gotten a few recognitions that have really come out the blue because I told you how I'm wired. I kind of show up this way already. And so when people recognize something in me and they, you know, it's very humbling and it's motivating. I've gotten a few awards. I've gotten the Essence Hometown Hero Award. I was a director at Habitat for Humanity in Atlanta several years ago, and I came down here for Essence. And that's when number 1, Alton Sterling was killed. And then number 2, the flood happened in Baton Rouge. And I just happened to be in town when all this stuff was happening. And I immediately rushed to the aid of Baton Rouge because that's who raised me.
Yeah. That's
who made me who I am today. That's what made me who I am today. And so I just organized. And I utilized my skills from the jobs and the clients and all of that I've had in the past. And I raised over $30,000 for North Baton Rouge and gutted a ton of houses.
Oh, wow.
That were molding. And you know, being here in New Orleans, I was a senior in high school during Katrina too, so this was like really like my 3rd or 4th flood that I had experienced in my lifetime. And the only thing that we can do whenever things happen is like at this point respond. How do you help?
How do you help? Pull together.
And so I literally was just helping and ended up getting an award from Beyonce's Bay Good Foundation and Tina Knowles and Essence, and I was just like, huh? Thanks, y'all. Like I didn't know what else to do, right? So I've gotten that. I went to Prairie View A&M 40 under 40, which was a great honor. That was their inaugural year. I wasn't even 30 yet.
So I've heard 40 over 40 a few times. Yeah. What is exactly?
So I think 40 under 40 and 30 under 30 and all these other movements is basically saying like, here are some young people doing stuff that we need to recognize. You know, if you go to events, especially here in New Orleans, they're always recognizing the people who are 50 plus. But we have young people like you and like you and like you and like me who are moving and doing things every single day. And I think that when them creating initiatives like 30 under 30, 40 under 40 as a way of saying, we see you.
Okay.
And so that was Prairie View's way of saying, we see you as an alum, we support you, we want you to put this next to your name, we're proud to have you. And so that's the gist of that award. This year, 100 Black Men surprised me with an Innovative Influence Award, like Excellence in Innovative Influence. And that just really blew me out the water too. First of all, anytime something happens, someone gives me something, it just really surprises me. Because I don't go out and market myself or submit myself for anything. I don't even market myself as a service or a business. I just kind of like do the work. So I receive all the things that I'm attracting by what I put out into the world, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, manifestation. You're putting great things out and you're receiving, great things in return. Politics.
Yeah.
What's your gist on in the political realm of things?
Ooh, know. So I come from a split household. I come from a conservative and liberal household.
Okay.
And I have been equipped, as I've mentioned, to really be a free thinker and an independent thinker in many ways, yet very opinionated. So politically, it doesn't matter if we're talking about locally or nationally or internationally, because there are powers beyond the United States. I'm open-minded. I'm very open-minded, yet very stern about human rights and workers' rights and women's rights and all the things that we should.
Because you're all for the good of the people.
I'm all for the good of the people, but I do understand too, to take it just a little bit deeper, but not to go down this rabbit hole, that there are things that we think are good for us that are not good for us. And it's because of how it's packaged up and how it's delivered that we think that this is how we're supposed to move. And reality is, when you go back and you look at history, if we've all been moving a certain way for like 40 years and we still struggling,
obviously
we got to switch up some leadership.
You got to do something different.
We got to switch up the way, you feel me?
I feel you.
I'm politically active and politically opinionated. I don't really side with anybody. I side with what's right.
What's right.
And you know, I work with a lot of different people. While I worked at Habitat, I worked with Rick Ross. And I never tell this story, so I'm gonna tell you this story.
Okay.
So I worked with Rick Ross, and Rick Ross was just dealing with like a lot of heat, like people looking at him, people like coming after him, want to put him in jail and all this stuff, and he was just like boom, 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 like swerving through it. And he and I had a conversation one day because Habitat was helping him get back to the community. And we had a conversation one day, and he said, you know what? We got to look at why we subscribe to these parties and why none of them fully align with who we are and what we have experienced and where we want to go. And, you know, there's a lot of people like him that I've come across that have really like put these seeds in my mind to help me think beyond our options and the choices that are given to us. And so I just want to like encourage you and whoever is watching, like think about what feels right in your brain. It's not about voting for a color or voting for who your people voted for. It's about like, we can redesign this.
Yeah.
We don't have to subscribe. And subscribing has gotten us to terrible education, low literacy rates. We can't afford to live in cities like New Orleans. People have to live outside of the city. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And so we really have to evaluate that. And I like being in the forefront of conversation that's going to help people think. And
because I was just going to ask you, you know, how do we get the millennials into the voting and get them into understanding that this is something that we need to do, you know.
And we have to figure out what they care about. What do millennials care about? They care about their freedom. They care about being creative. They care about being able to afford to travel and take a trip, or to be able to open up a business and go to a bank and say, I need a loan. That's what we care about. When we start talking about the things that we actually care about, then we mobilize for real. We had a great turnout for the governor's election here recently. But how many people that look like us did he thank in his speech? How many of us, you know, and I'm not discrediting anyone who was a part of the process of making it successful, but at some point, we got to look at things and say, I put in some hours.
Okay.
I know this person put in some time. I know this venue hosted an event.
Yeah.
When we going, that's all. When we gonna act like we matter? When y'all gonna act like we matter? Or when are we gonna act like we matter?
Yeah, when we gonna act
we
like
don't
we
need
matter.
your permission. We are all individual, empowered people to vote. Actually, forget empower. We need to step into our power. Right? So when I think politics and being politically active, I like being the person in the room that's like, so what's the plan? What's the next action point? When we meeting? What's the topic of conversation moving forward? You know, too often I'm in political rooms, and everybody talking about themselves.
Yeah, that's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
No, it's not about you.
We were brought here, or you were brought into these conversations because you're considered a representative of lots of people. And so we need to act like that.
We need to act like that. You heard her. We need to act like that. I like that. You broke that down really well. Yeah, you did. For a lot of millennials, for people to understand, you really broke that down really well. Karen Civil.
Yeah.
Karen Civil. I like her.
Yeah.
You kind of like giving me like.
She's a friend of mine.
You give me Karen Civil vibes.
You know, birds of a feather be flocking together. Karen is amazing.
Yes. Is it just like a city thing that we call her like Karen? I don't know. Like I've always heard her name called by anybody else be Karen.
Oh, it's Karen though.
And it's Karen.
But you know, depending on where you at and where you from, people pronounce things differently.
No, it's different. It's spelled, you know, but we pronounce it. You know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'd rather people ask or be open to being like corrected, because people's names are people's names. That's their brand. So I actually met Karen several years ago when I did an event in Houston. Whenever brunches were just becoming a thing.
A thing.
You know, this was probably like 2014, 2013. I had her come to our brunch in Houston, and that was her first brunch that she had ever done.
And she was your friend already?
No, she wasn't my friend already.
You just had her come
a mutual
on.
friend.
Oh, okay. So you just had
And
her
you know, here's the beauty about business, right? Collaboration,
Mhm.
right? Collaboration and simplicity are the two biggest things when it comes to business. And I was just in a group with women who wanted to do something great for the city, and one person knew her, and they reached out, and they were open to it, and they brought her down. And from that point moving forward, we've been in contact and supported each other. I do something, she'll send me flowers, you know, congratulating me. She has something going on, I send her a gift. I go to LA, or she comes here. Like, she's solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it feels nice for someone to say, I give you her vibes. You know, we're similar. We do similar work. You know, she's more entertainment, I'm more for the people.
For the people.
But either way it goes, it's all about the people.
About the culture.
Entertainment is about the people, the culture.
Yeah, culture.
And mobilizing businesses are also about the culture.
Yeah, it's definitely about the culture. Like, this is really, I'm like, like my baby's like, okay. I'm like, my girl is all into it. You were a part of the team that produced the Kanye West.
Yes.
In Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
My camera guy went.
Yeah, I know. I let him in.
You let him in? You know, he was all on Instagram posting that he at the Kanye West, you know, and I'm like, what you doing now? You recording that something? But he was all excited, you know. Yeah. So tell us about that. You know, you're, like you say, you are a mover and a shaker. You make things happen. You get the job done.
Yeah.
You know, what part did you play in that?
I was over all the logistics.
Mm-hmm.
So all 8,000 plus people, coordinating how they arrive, who is engaging them as soon as they arrive, what happens once they arrive, where's security at, where are the bathrooms at, where are, you know, our special guests, where's the choir, where's Kanye, what's the time frame, what's the run of show. I'm running around in a cart, making sure, keeping everything together.
You had a walkie-talkie?
I had a walkie-talkie and everything. We're out here making it happen, okay? And by far, one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. I told you I grew up in the church. I grew up in the choir as well. So having Kanye and his choir come to Baton Rouge, again, by way of a business partner / friend who had the relationship, knowing that, oh, okay, they're really gonna come. So I guess I need to call Gabbi now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need to make this happen, because we just got confirmation 2 days before.
You said 48 hours.
Yeah.
You did it in 48 hours.
48 hours. And that was a real thing. And by far the most fulfilling and stressful thing I've ever done in my life, that I've learned so much from. But just grateful to like be in that space and be a part of bringing that experience to Louisiana.
Were you nervous? Like when they called you and like, listen, Gabbi, we need you to make this happen.
Knowing
that all of that was on you.
He told me like a week or so before, he was like, I'm working on it. I don't know yet, but when I know that I need you to come out here. And he did. Shout out to Adrian Hammond in Baton Rouge. And he's known for bringing premium entertainment to this state, not just Baton Rouge, but New Orleans. He represents so many people. He worked with Prince, he worked with Mary J. Blige, you know, she come here all the time. And, you know, a ton of other people.
Yeah.
And that's just what he does. He entertains and he makes connections, and he, you know, he has a couple of restaurants and blah blah blah.
I want to meet him.
He's amazing. You go to Baton Rouge and check out his restaurant, Boiling Room, by far the best Louisiana cuisine in the city. I highly recommend you go. Tell him Gabbi sent you.
I will tell him Gabbi. I definitely will tell him.
He gonna be like, okay,
oh yeah,
got you. What you want?
I was tell him Gabbi sent me. Gabbi, what was one lesson that you took from that situation?
One lesson that I learned from Sunday's service is that you can't please everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
You got that from that service?
Yes. I didn't get it from the service. I got it from producing the event.
The event, right.
The event itself, right, that experience, by the time we had gotten everybody to where they needed to be, because, you know, Kanye arrived and he just ran out there. And we like, no! No, please! You know, so we had to do a little quick, get people together. We had VIPs, we had to move around. It was chaotic. But once we got everyone situated where they're supposed to be, it was an out-of-body experience to really be there and say, like, we really have power in keeping God at the center of who we are and what we do. Like we may not see it every day. We may not see it on TV. We may not feel it through our music. And that's unfortunate, but that's why it's our responsibility to find out, like, how are we going to continuously show up in a godly way, although imperfect, right?
Yep.
How am I going to show up and do the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
And so the experience was amazing. Producing it was amazing. Learned a lot. Can't wait to produce a big event again like that.
So I think I might know what your answer is going to be for this.
Okay.
Do you believe in the Kanye West movement?
I believe in people. And so, with that being said, I have experienced multiple times. So another thing that I talk about often is mental health. I've experienced multiple times in my life where I thought something, did something, said something that I regretted later. Or thought about how do I better articulate what I mean. So when I think about Kanye West and his journey and everything he's been through, I can't judge this man. What I can do is say, hey guys, this is one of few black men in the top 1% who has experienced things that most of us will never experience. Including, not including grief. All of us will experience that. I'm talking about having money, real money, so much money that everybody wants it. Everyone wants to influence you. Everybody wants to take it, and you feel like you out here got to figure it out on your own. And so what I feel about Kanye is he took a moment and he had to reflect in at some point and say that my purpose is bigger than me, and I've caused a lot of harm. And I just want to show up and show love. And the Sunday service experience is not about his political views. It's not about his wife. It's not about Yeezys or Yeezy gear or attire. It's not about anything else but God. And I've seen it over and over again. A couple weeks later, we did it in Houston. At Lakewood. People can say whatever they want to say about Lakewood and Joel Osteen, but Joel Osteen gave that man a mic, and that man spoke from his heart. Give that mic to somebody else. What they gonna say? We all got a story. And so, back to be direct about your question, my answer is I believe in movements that are going to impact people in a positive way. And I feel like Sunday service is doing that. For sure, and you can ask your camera guy. It was an out-of-body experience. I mean, if you're a spiritual person, forget if you were a spiritual person. There are people there who were interviewed by the news. We had tons of press coverage. People were like, I didn't come here for gospel, but I showed him leaving here as a believer. Or I feel reignited, or I feel inclined to know more about God. And that's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. None of us are perfect, but if we can have some consciousness, or someone reminding us regularly that it's bigger than you, it's bigger than my opinion, it's bigger than Kanye's opinion. When you get up there and you got the best choir directors and the best singers and the best musicians and one of the best hip hop artists ever. Come on, man. It's undisputable. You can hate Kanye if you want. That man is doing great things. What you gonna do? How you gonna fix your life? How you gonna impact the world? That's really like where I'm at with it. And believe me, I got a lot of backlash.
I can imagine.
It was one of the most emotional kind of like weekends going into a week of my life because of outside of producing the event, you have the press and that you have to deal with. You have the being a publicist and a representative of the entities that I was involved in, and then also crisis management. Of the people who, for whatever reason, got problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, do you want a refund? Like, I'm also the person fixing the problems if they want it to be fixed.
They want it fixed.
Because not everybody wants to fix on talk. So
that's really good to hear that. People have so many opinions on that, and it's really good to hear that that solid, opinion on things. 31. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Have all of these different things going on. Great head on your shoulders. Activist. That's just, And I identify 100%. I don't see you with a guy. Are you single?
I am single.
Single?
I date, you know what I'm saying? But I already told you about a lot about my life, right? I gotta be with a leader, sis.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta be able to lead me. And I have faith that he's out there somewhere. Wanting to lead a strong woman like myself and who appreciates harnessing our powers together. You know? Yeah.
So you want kids, you want to be married, you want that.
Yeah, I want like 3-4 kids.
I have 4. 3 girls and a boy.
Okay. What you say that? What you looking like that for?
Stick to 2.
4 is too much.
4 too much. Stick to 2.
You know, whatever I get, I'll be grateful
You'll be
for.
grateful for it.
But I am intentionally open and dating. I have been in relationships, but I also believe in being intentional. And if you're not my hubby, what we doing? We can be friends though. Hey.
I like that. Being intentional, you know.
Yeah.
You're not my hubby.
Right.
What we doing?
What we doing?
I love it.
Like, why waste my time and yours? Because
you know that it takes a confident woman who knows who she is and know what she wants out of life to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times women are looking for love in all the wrong places. They're looking to be fulfilled. They're trying to fill a void.
Yeah.
Different things like that. So it's harder for them to feel like, well, you're not my husband, then what we doing? Because I need you. You know that saying that, women nowadays will take a piece of man versus a half, like a piece of man versus a whole man,
Flag on the play. Flag
on the play, okay.
We're going to go ahead and get this out here right now. Ladies, do this for yourself going into 2020. Go get you a therapist, bro. Go get a therapist. Because there's so many things that are deep down inside of us because we vent to our friends and or we don't pray about it. And I feel like we need all of these things, right? We need all the resources. You need someone that's going to help you work through your thoughts, help you work through your non-negotiables, your deal breakers, help you realize your value and heal, right? A lot of us have issues from regardless if your parents was in the household or not. We got issues, and we have to heal through those things. There's people who have hurt and abused and taken advantage of us. We have to do that, and that's the best gift you can give yourself. That was the best gift I gave myself this year. Yes.
I did an event in November, my nonprofit organization, Sisters of Vision. We did an event called the Rehab Experience.
Ooh.
And it was reinventing your ability to blossom.
Ooh.
And so it was because one of the ladies in the sisterhood, she felt that a lot of women are going through mind battles. Things in their mind that makes them feel like, okay, I'm not adequate, I'm less of.
It holds them hostage.
Hold them
Holds us
hostage.
hostage.
And when I tell you hostage, like they will go on like a hiatus for not talk to anybody, and that's what the enemy, he loves to keep you idle. Being
and isolated.
Idle. Yes. And just to hear the different things, a lot of people didn't want to almost affiliate with it because that almost meant that
they had having an issue. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I do that, then that means I have an issue. If I participate, then that means something is wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, don't talk about that. We were told to keep our business in our house.
Yes.
We were told we don't need a therapist. You got your mama, you got your grandmother, you got Aunt Mimi over there. You don't need to be going to see a therapist.
And that's when we get the cycles popping.
I was just about to say that. Having to break the cycle and having that event was a start. We wanted to get to the root of things and have them understand that it is okay. Yeah. And we just need more people talking about it. Especially in our community.
Absolutely.
How do we talk about these things? How do we break these cycles? For them to see somebody like, oh my gosh, she has it together. She's pretty. She's all these different things. She's a therapist. So that they need to see that we it's okay.
Absolutely. Most women have experienced trauma by a very young age, and it's usually by the hands of someone that we trust, right? And we don't realize how much that impacts the way we move moving forward. And so, one thing that I'm going to say is that, we can put together these events, we can invite people out to be vulnerable with us, but we have to warm them up because no one has warmed them up. And so we have to look at how can we better educate, make them feel comfortable, bring them into this vulnerable space where they can trust that nobody in here is judging. And we all have our own story. And this is the best step to healing yourself so you get be a better person for yourself, for your people, for the world, for your job, for your future kids, for your future husband or wife, you know, like, and then not just the things that have happened to us growing up, because that has a huge impact psychologically, but also like the things that we process every day and that we're seeing every day through social media, we comparing ourselves, you know, it's so much, you know, but I just want to encourage people to like take initiative, you know. The best investment I made for myself this year outside of using QuickBooks was a therapist.
Was a therapist?
Absolutely.
Get you a therapist, guys.
And QuickBooks if you got business. Change it.
So, Gabby.
Yes.
A friend of yours told me that she can make a business out of anything. We can be somewhere and she'll see something and she'll be like, that should be a business. Or that could be a, you know, and when she said that, I was like, I do that to my friends, you know, like I'm always saying, no, we can make this a business, you know, this, they think I'm psychotic, like they always are like,
I'm crazy too.
Yeah, they're like, really like chill, like we're not even on that right now. No, but we should be on that right now, you know.
Be ahead.
Yes, so your brain has to be wired a certain kind of way for that. What does she mean when she says that you can make a business out of anything?
I think mostly because I see abundance in being a resource. Whenever you are a resource to people's needs, or if you answer the needs of the people, you will always have a job. That is like a golden rule for me, right? If I'm answering the needs of these people, I will always have a job. I better provide something. You know, I just look for ways to fix problems. You know, it could be, hey, we need a certain type of water that we need to be serving, which I'm working on a water company. I'll tell you about that. We need recovery water for whenever people are drinking too much in New Orleans, because we have way too many DUIs. We have way too many people dying in crashes. We have way too many issues around alcohol, health, you name it, right? What's one way that we can like intercept these issues before it is an issue? How do we hydrate these people before they leave the club? How do we hydrate them before we leave a private party? You know, we supply them actively with water that's going to help them recover faster. You know, so we don't have as many issues. That's how my brain kind of works. Also, people are able to also come to me and say, here's what I'm doing. I'm not really sure why this isn't working. And I can kind of ask 2 or 3 questions and be able to say, this is what you really should be doing. Yeah. And more often than not, it's helpful. So I don't really know what got me to this point where I think about fixing things. I think it just goes back to the servitude. You know, and just understanding that I'm a servant. You're a servant. And I also believe that we have assignments and we have people assigned to us. And sometimes we have no idea who we have assigned to us. It could be a city. It could be a nation. It could be your sister.
You better speak on it.
Just saying.
You just ignited something in me right quick. Like, hold up. That's, you know, it's something that's why, you know, things happen like this. I do these things. From the moment you started talking, I knew you were a servant. Like, you have a servant heart. Your heart is for the people. I want the people. It's about the people. Clearly.
It's beyond me, it's beyond you.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
And I studied business. I also went to school abroad. I went to school in South Korea as well while I was in Houston. Prairie sent me over there. And so I've also been being an Army brat, I've been able to see things from just different perspectives. And I see us not taking advantage of our own opportunities that are in front of us, or answering, you know, the needs. You know, sometimes we create businesses and nobody needs what you're selling.
Come on.
So what's the point? We're overly complicating business. If something is in demand, you create something that's in demand and you sell that to your market. So I bring that into a lot of conversations as well, and just help people understand. Sometimes they're thinking too small.
Yeah, you help them broaden.
Yeah.
You know, that's awesome. Thanks. What initiatives do you have coming up in 2020? You know, you are I can call you the fixer, I can call you the, you know what I mean? Like, I can call you a whole bunch of different things, you know, so what initiatives you have going on that's going to help serve, fix, transform, you know?
So I have a few things that I'm doing. Most immediately, I'm starting a conversation series called Ask Me Anything. Because I feel like I don't have enough video content out there where people are actually hearing words come out of my mouth and I'm like seeing the results of what I've done, or like it may be it may be a quick little video here and there, but I just feel like I need to put out more video content so people can get more familiar with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And I get to challenge myself through these questions that people ask me, because sometimes I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Right? And I can go figure it out. So we have that. So that's under Business Rules for Women.
Okay.
We also have a What Do You Want mastermind that's starting in January. It's a 3-month mastermind. It's going to take you through 11 topics that exist in our lives that are but not limited to our finances, our relationships, our career, our family, our spirituality. And you go through like about 15 questions for each one of these topics to help you dig a little deeper and figure out like what is it that you really want. And that's very important starting a new decade and a new year. I went to Oprah's Life You Want tour several years ago in Houston, and that really like rocked my world. And I was like, I can do this.
You can do this.
I can do this. And it's because I know the right answers, the right questions to ask, and I know how to help people make it actionable. So we're doing that through our 3-month mastermind. And then of course we have our Business Rules for Women. Our inaugural conference. 2020 conference, and I'm really excited because over the years I've been to lots of conferences and events. I've spoken, I've contributed in different ways, but one thing that just really has been on my heart is the fact that I go places and I feel like people are talking at me, and I'm supposed to just be taking notes, and it's supposed to change my life. And the reality is that's not helpful, truly helpful. I mean, it may be entertaining and it may be inspiring, but it's not really helpful once I leave this space.
Gotcha.
And so the beautiful thing about the Business Rules for Women conference is that our panels will be led by local and national thought leaders in different industries. And then a few of those thought leaders will actually move into our Skillshare interactive workshops where you're actually learning how to do stuff before you leave. So one thing I talked about earlier was how QuickBooks changed my life, but I had to figure all that out on my own. Imagine if you're able to show up to a spot or this conference and there's someone leading it telling you, listen, the way you set up your money is going to impact you for a long time. The way you spend your money this year is going to impact you for a long time. We need to make sure that you're utilizing the right softwares, that you're using the right card when you buy stuff, that you're keeping this in mind as you travel or as you invest in your business. We need more context. We don't just need the tools. We need to talk about it. And we need to set it up so when you leave, you good.
You can just step straight into action.
You step right into action. And so we're going to have thought leadership conversations. We're going to have Skillshare workshops where you walk away with new, really helpful skills that you can use immediately. We're also going to have a really awesome brunch, because that's one of the ways I got started in events. We're going to have an awesome brunch. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about relationships and friendships, networking and what that even really means. Also social good, and how, being a socially conscious business is not a trend. If you adopt this and you care about people, more people will spend money with you. And so, or if you're just a caring person, you got to exude this in some capacity. Think about your own money, right? You don't give anybody money that you don't like.
Right.
How do you become likable when people want to give you money? Sometimes you got to switch how we move. And how we set up our businesses and our brands. And so that's what people should be looking forward to at the Business Rules for Women conference. Along with a bunch of other really awesome stuff, VIP lounge, activations with different brands, also a business marketplace where you're able to pull up a map and see what kind of businesses are in the space so you can go and connect with them. I mean, really I'm taking everything that I've done over the last 10 years and putting it into this moving forward. This is going to be our first conference, and we're going to do it every year, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. So I suggest that you come to the first one, because...
Okay, how can they come? What do they need to do to
You need to go to businessrulesforwomen.com. It's there. If you're interested in speaking, if you're a local speaker, that's a whole nother conversation. These conferences come here and they don't tap the local people, right? So we got to put ourselves on. And we got to put ourselves on panels with national people so we can compete, because New Orleans contributes too much to not be a part of the national conversation. Business Rules for Women is international, right? So if you're interested in being on our panels, let me know. You have some skills that you want to share, reach out to me, info@businessrulesforwomen.com. You want your business on display so 200 plus women can check it out and spend money with you, or you get leads, whatever. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we can best utilize having people in front of us. Sometimes it's not the immediate conversion.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's getting that contact and be able to stay in contact with them. You know, so I'm gonna make sure that everyone that's involved understands the opportunity. The rest is up to you.
Okay, opportunity.
I can only do so much.
And is there anything else you have for us in 2020?
Yeah, I'm working on a book.
Okay, book. Busy. Okay.
2020 for me is really about, like I said earlier, simplicity. It's time to take all the things that I've done over all these years with all these really cool different clients and people I've worked with. I need to download, export, and upload into something that people can read, that they can learn from, that they can gift, that will change their lives. And there's a lot, like you said, I come off very polished, which I am polished. I am a respectable woman, but I have a story. And there's a reason why this person, reason why I show up this way. And I want to help more people, like, get a 6-figure business popping. What's up? Let's go. Join the 6-figure club with your business. I want to help more women understand that your story matters. And so just doing the work.
Doing the work, because you are a doer.
I'm a doer.
And lastly, we have this fun game that I want to play with you. I'm going to call out 5 letters.
At the same time?
Nope. One at a time, and you legit have like 5 seconds to give a word for that letter. Okay?
Okay.
And then if it's, we'll determine if you can explain why you chose that letter. But let's just see if you could come up with a...
It's kind of like the crossword puzzle, and they're like, what's the first word that you It's always the wrong word.
So the first letter is B.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Why?
Because beauty is everywhere.
Everywhere. Beauty is everywhere. That's true. G.
Gabrielle.
That was easy because that was my fault. That was easy because your name stuff. So my first thought was God, so I was like, so in my head I'm like, she about to say God, But I just wanted to see if it would be something different, and it was. It was your name.
I am that I am, so aka God.
I am that I am. I just interviewed I Am Tucker.
Oh, I love I Am.
And so we just said, that's what we were talking about. I am that I am.
That's right.
That is, okay, come on. S.
Sophisticated.
Okay, I thought you was going to say single. No.
I don't dwell on that.
Okay, sophisticated. Why you choose sophisticated?
Sophisticated is a word that has always spoken to me. I think that we define what that means for ourselves, especially since sometimes sophisticated can be a word where it's like, I'm not really sure why I'm describing you this way, but you give me like a sophisticated vibe. I just think that it's a nice word to like it's a nice thing to recognize in people, but not to overvalue it either. Does that make sense?
Overvalue it.
Like overvalue the thought of having to be a certain way or another way. I think sophistication also comes with time. It's not. It's an aged characteristic. You don't just become sophisticated because you graduated from an Ivy League. Sophistication, I think, is composed of lots of life experiences, and really, somebody calls you sophisticated, I would take it as a
really good compliment.
Yeah.
I agree. L.
Love.
Well, we know why you would choose love. I mean, all the greatness and all the giving and for the people and all of that. Your heart is so full of love.
I do love
So we know that. M.
Money.
Money, 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 money.
For obvious reasons. Because, money makes the world go round.
Okay.
And it can also make our community go round. If we circulated it.
If we circulated it.
Money is true. Money can be powerful, but it can also be an hindrance if you don't understand it. And one of the conversations I've been a part of a lot this year, like I said earlier, was generational wealth and money management. And that is not anything to sleep on. Like, we really need to get more comfortable talking about money. The other day I shared a few things that I had accomplished this year with my business, and so many people are like, yeah, welcome to this club, welcome to that club. And I'm like, it's not about being a part of a club. It's a part of like a lifestyle. You know, and you saying this being a part of a club, which means that some people aren't allowed. Yeah. You know, and there's really enough money for all of us out there. So we just gotta figure out how to circulate it. You know, and take action, much like I said earlier in regards to politics. Like, I don't really believe in all of this, like, good old boy pickup party, this is what you're supposed to be doing type mentality. Like, we really are the masters of our own destiny. You know, and we can really make a difference. Yeah. But it's up to us to manage our money right.
Yeah. I didn't help you that area.
I got you.
Okay, good.
I got somebody for you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Gabby. This was amazing. It was, you know, very breathtaking, you know, a breath of fresh air. And you just had a lot of really goodness. You know, I'm so happy my daughter was here to listen to it firsthand, because she probably wouldn't go on my YouTube channel. So the fact that she was here firsthand is amazing. And it's going to be a lot of content for us to talk about when we get in the car. So I really appreciate that. Like, you just hit some things on the head, and you know, a lot of mothers are gonna appreciate what it was that you said, and a lot of daughters can learn from what it is that you said. So I am really grateful that you took time on the couch with me. You know, I'm appreciative of it. So thank you so much, Gabby. Is there any last minute things that you would like to say to the people? You know.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you, and I want to say keep doing what you're doing, because I have seen you work in passing with other people you've interviewed, and so it's an honor for you to care about what I'm doing in my story, so I appreciate that. The second thing I want to say is that we got to do better. We have to do better. We have to realize that we have so much opportunity to make an impact on this world, starting with who is around you. You don't have to have a million followers. You don't have to have some big corporate job. I mean, you could be literally flipping crabs on a grill and attract thousands of people to you, right? There's real stories like that happening right here in New Orleans. But once we bring these people to us, what are we doing with them, right? Let's do better. Let's find ways to engage people and mobilize our people with whatever gift that you have. Yeah. And I'm using my gift. And I'm counting on you and you and you and you to utilize your gifts, because the world is counting on us. Yes. The people who aren't even here yet are counting on us. And I don't take that lightly. But I do like to have a good time, so. And I don't take that lightly.
No, I agree with you 100% on that. And guess what? On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Couch Conversations with Shatara.